The title of the Gosho is, Letter from Echi. Let's first listen to the background of this Gosho. Nichiren Daishonin wrote this letter on the 14th day of the 9th month of the 8th year of Bun'ei, 1271, and addressed it to Toki Jōnin, immediately following the Tatsunokuchi Persecution. When this letter was written, the Daishonin was staying at the residence of Homma Rokurō Saemon-no-jō in Echi, Sagami Province. The Daishonin had been sentenced to exile on Sado Island under the supervision of Hōjō Nobutoki, the constable of Sado. Nevertheless, on the 12th day, an attempt was made to behead him at Tatsunokuchi in the early hours of the 13th day. The attempt failed, however, and the Daishonin was placed under the custody of Homma Rokurō, Hōjō Nobutoki's deputy. Although the Daishonin estimates in this letter that he would be kept at Echi for 4 or 5 days, he was to remain there until the 10th day of the following month. For the first time in his writings, the Daishonin cites the passage from the Lotus Sutra that reads, "Again and again we will be banished." The implication here is that, through his previous banishment to Izu, 1261 to 1263, and the upcoming exile to Sado, the Daishonin is reading and experiencing the words, "again and again," with his entire being. Although at the end of this letter the Daishonin declares the certainty of his attaining enlightenment in the future, this statement and his conviction in the face of persecution apparent in this letter can be seen as an expression of the Daishonin's state of life as the Buddha of the latter day of the law. Now listen to the Gosho. The government's persecution of me has clearly demonstrated my faith in the Lotus Sutra. There is no doubt that the moon wanes and waxes, and that the tide ebbs and flows. In my case, too, since punishment has already occurred, benefit must be forthcoming. What is there to lament? At the hour of the cock, 5 to 7 p.m., on the 12th day, I incurred the wrath of the government authorities. Placed in the custody of the Lord of Musashi, I left Kamakura at the hour of the ox, 1 to 3 a.m., on the 13th day for exile in the province of Sado. At present, I am in a place called Echi, which is the domain of Homma, under the supervision of a person called Umataro, a deputy of Homma Rokurō Saemon-no-jō of Echi. I will probably be staying here for 4 or 5 days. Your grief is understandable, but because I have been certain from the beginning that this would occur, I myself do not grieve. Rather, I regret that I have yet to be beheaded. Had I been decapitated on account of the Lotus Sutra in a past existence, I would not have been born as such a lowly person in this life. By undergoing repeated persecution, just as is noted in the sutra when it says, "Again and again we will be banished," I can erase the grave offenses of my past and for the first time attain Buddhahood. I therefore engage in these difficult practices of my own accord. Nichiren. The 14th day of the 9th month. Reply to Toki.